Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Mind Your Exam. So in this video we will be learning how we can change the constraint that is specified on an attribute of a relation in SQL. So this is done using the alter command, and in this video we'll be mainly talking about changing the null constraint to not null constraint in SQL. Okay. So let's start with some key points that you need to remember before modifying the constraint of an attribute. So basically, whenever you create a relation in SQL, every attribute is allowed to store null values except the primary key. So only that attribute that you have specified and made as the primary key is not allowed to store null values, except that all other attributes, even the unique attribute, is allowed to store null values. And after creating the relation, if you want a particular attribute to not store null values, then you can use the alter command of SQL to make these changes. And to do this, you need to use the modify keyword. And so along with the alter and modify keyword, you need to specify the data type of the attribute also when changing its restriction from null to not null. That means if an attribute is originally allowed to store null values and now you want to change this restriction on it and you want to impose that a particular attribute should not be allowed to store null values, in that case you can say use the alter keyword of SQL along with the modify keyword, specify the data type of that attribute and make the changes. So how will you make the changes? You will first specify the table name whose attribute you are changing. So if a table name is specified in the first line, you specify alter table followed by the table name. Then you write the modify keyword followed by the name of the attribute that you want to modify. Also, along with the attribute, you have to write the data type. So this is a rule in SQL that whenever you are utilizing the modify keyword, whether it is for changing the data type of the attribute like we saw in the previous video, or whether it is changing the restriction from null to not null, in every case, if the modify keyword is used, then the attribute should be written along with its data type, and then we are putting the restriction that this particular attribute should not store null values. Okay, so let's take an example. If we have a student relation in our database which is storing originally the attributes roll number, student name, student date of birth and GUID, in which in the earlier videos we have specified that the roll number is the primary key. So only primary key roll number is allowed to not store null values. All other attributes can store null values. Now if we want to put a restriction that the student name should also not be empty, that means the student name should also not contain any kind of null values. So how will we do that? We will specify that we are wanting to alter the table named student, and in that table we want to modify the student name name attribute whose data type originally is this, and then we will specify what modification we want to make. The modification that we want to make is that now name will not contain null values. Okay, so the concept that we have seen in today's video is that if an attribute which was originally not the primary key, it can store null values, and if we want to change this, then we can use the alter keyword along with the modify keyword to specify this particular changes. That's all for today's video. I hope you have understood the concept. If you have any doubts, please let us know in the comment section below. You can also let us know if there are any particular topics from SQL or any other computer science or management subject that you want to study on this channel. Thank you for watching. Till we meet in the next video. Mind your exam.